Okay, so in this video, we're going to go ahead and set up the Blogger account since that's the last Google account that we're going to need for now. So let me go over to the Google Plus or Gmail, any one of the Google dashboards, and we'll click back on the apps menu, and we want to go to Blogger. And right now, I'm actually logged. You can see that I'm actually logged in here as the Get It Done account, and if we refresh now, that probably will be updated. It doesn't look like it's updated yet, but we want to be logged in as the profile. So I'm just going to come back to Gmail over here, and if we click on the apps menu and in the more icon, you'll see Blogger down here. Okay, now you can rearrange this and actually add Blogger up to the top, which means we could just put it up here somewhere, and that's fine. Okay, so you guys can rearrange these however you like. But once you have Blogger there, or you can just go to blogger.com or blogspot.com. Either way, it'll take you to the same place. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button. It's going to ask me to log in again, so I'm going to jump back over to the spreadsheet, grab the username, or excuse me, the password. All right, so this is what we can do, is use the Google Plus or the Blogger account as our profile, or we could set it up as a branded account. So this is where it says your Google Plus profile. This will actually bring your Google Plus profile into the Blogger account if you're using it as like a personal blog, which is perfectly fine to do. Or if you wanted to set it up as a like a business account, so a branded blog, you could switch to a limited blogger profile. Okay, personally, I think it's got a little bit more power as a personal blog, but you can do both. Okay, so and you can always create a second blog. So what I like to do is just go ahead and say continue to Blogger with the profile attached, no matter whether it's for branded network or not, because then you can always go back and create a second blog, one that is branded for the brand. Okay, and so I'll walk you through that here in a minute, but let's just go ahead and click on continue to Blogger, and you see how it says new blog over here. This is what you're going to click to create the blog, okay, because right now we currently don't even have a blog. So I'm going to go ahead and click new blog, and I'm just going to add a title. So if I wanted to create one around, let's just say, the Get It Done brand. Okay, this is a persona-based network, but let's say that I wanted to give it a pseudo brand, because this isn't really, I'm not really going to build a Get It Done blog for this guy. Most likely not, because I think all that I'm going to end up using this particular network for is for YouTube syndication. But I want to give it a pseudo brand, right? Like this brand that, to make it look like it's a branded network. So that it just seems to be more like something that would be used for marketing products. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to call it the Get It Done blog. In fact, we could even just get rid of the blog if we wanted. We could leave it there, it doesn't really matter. But here's where we can give it the address. So the address in a normal persona-based network can just be the persona's name. So it could be Vernon E. Dunn, right? .blogspot.com, and it's going to say that that's available, and that's perfectly fine for persona networks. In fact, that is typically how I will build out persona networks, is just with the username, or excuse me, the persona's name as the actual username and the address of the blog. Okay, the other thing you could do is you could put the brand name in here. I do not, so let me just say this first. Like if I said Get It Done, and it says this is not available. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I'm just going to go with Vernon E. Dunn, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I do not recommend ever putting a keyword in here, guys. Use either the persona's profile name, or the profile name of the persona's name, or use a brand name, but do like your business brand or the brand that you're trying to create, but do not use a keyword in here, because it just looks spammy. Okay, you can still accomplish what you want to accomplish without using a keyword in that address, the website address. Okay, so I'm okay with this, vernonedunn.blogspot.com. I'm totally cool with that. So then you just want to select which kind of what you want it to look like. I'm just going to click on this one. That's fine, it makes no difference to me. We're going to create the blog. And now I'm going to say no thanks on this. However, using domain custom domains with this is pretty powerful, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, I'm just going to leave it just the way that it is. Okay, so now we can actually go take a look at the blog by clicking on the view blog, and you can see that this is it. And this is what I was talking about, bringing that profile in. I think that makes it a bit more powerful because it's connected, it's intertwined with the actual profile. So it's a stronger connection in my opinion. If you use a limited business account, it doesn't give you this ability to have this here. So I like having this here. So now once you've got this done, there's a few things that you can do that I recommend that you set up. And we'll talk about adding additional links here in a little while. You know, we'll get back to interlinking everything. But one thing I like to do is go over to layout. And then from here, you can see that on the sidebar, you're going to have the About Me widget, which is what we were looking at right here. That's this About Me widget. But there's also this blog archive. I don't like these blog archives. Like, you guys know what blog archives are. That's where it shows like the dates that there has been posts. Does that ever help anybody? Does anybody? Because there's no description of what the posts are. There's just links with dates that take you to the post that was posted on that date. In my opinion, it's absolutely useless. And so I like to get rid of it. So from here, I just click on Edit. It'll bring up a pop-up window, and I want to scroll down and say Remove. Click OK. Now that's gone. Now, these are gadgets or widgets, whatever you want to call them. We can add additional gadgets here, and we're going to definitely want to add additional gadgets here. One that's going to be for links, because we're going to use this as our link, what we use for adding our other profile links once we set everything up. But we can go ahead and get started since we have the Google Plus page URL and the YouTube channel URL. We could actually add those in right now if we wanted to. However, before we do that, we're going to need to go collect those URLs and add them to our spreadsheet. But I want to take a moment to share something else here that we use to keep track of all our IFTTT properties. So, and then again, we're going to come back and link all of this stuff together anyway. So it's not necessary that we actually add the other gadget right now. You can if you'd like. If you wanted to, you just go to Add Gadget. You scroll down here until where you see, let's see, there should be a link list or something like that. It's called. I think it was up here further. Yeah, link list. We just put link list here. And you'll see that it's going to add, this will be, so we can say, you know, like my profiles or something like that. And now leave blank to show all links. That's what I do. Don't sort. I don't care about sorting. And in the new site name, and we could add the site names in here. So for example, I could say YouTube. And then we want to grab the YouTube channel URL. So this is the Google Plus page. Here's the YouTube channel. If we say view as a returning subscriber, or whatever, it doesn't matter. We just want to grab the URL out of here. And I like to link to the About page because that's where all of our other links will be. So I go ahead and grab the whole URL all the way to the About tab, the About /about, so that's actually grabbing the About page. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So we just copy that URL right out of the address bar. And we're going to come back over to Blogger, and we're going to add this in, and that's on the pop-up window. So here we go. And then we're going to click Add Link, and you'll see how it says YouTube. And I'm just going to click Save, and you'll see that now the My Profiles is here. I'm going to move that down below the About Me widget, and if I click Save Arrangement and we come back over and refresh, you're going to see now that I have My Profiles, and there's a link to the YouTube channel, the About page. You can see that show up down there. Now, this is what we're going to come back and do with all of the other profile links in the once we have all the accounts set up. So we'll come back and add that. We're also going to add seed content to this post and let it sit for a couple days before we start automating posts to it. Okay, so that's something we'll also come back to do in another video. But the last thing, like I said, I want to do is we want to drop back over to our account workbook, and we want to start adding in our details. So for example, the YouTube URL, which we just grabbed, which should still be on my clipboard, I'm just going to paste that in. Okay, and that way we have the YouTube URL already on the page or on our spreadsheet. And then I'm going to talk briefly about something else, and I'm going to create a second video about what we call SERP Space, which is an IFTTT network management application that we developed specifically for this. So here we are back on the Get It Done Google Plus page, and what we want to do is, this is for the actual page. What we want to do is grab the URL out of the address bar, and we're going to remove that little B icon in there. And if we actually open this up in another window, another browser, and we go to visit it, it should resolve to the About page on its own and give you the URL that you want to copy. So just open up Chrome or another browser and just copy the URL out of the address bar just up to the end of the first ID, and then just go paste it in another browser and go paste and go, and it will basically redirect to the version that we want to keep. So that's going to be this one. We'll go ahead and copy that, and we'll go back to our spreadsheet, and we're going to paste that in as the Google Plus page. Okay, now we still got one more, right, which is the Google Plus profile. So if we come back over here once again and we want to switch back to just the profile, we can just click on the icon up here and then click on Vernon Dunn, and now that's going to open up with Vernon as the profile, right? And then we're just going to go back to Home and Profile, and we go to About. And if we scroll down, there might be a share URL we can grab. It doesn't look like there's one yet. So we'll just grab this out of the address bar, and just like before, we want to go over to another browser and paste it in, and it should resolve. It should redirect. In this case, it's showing UO. You can get rid of that if you want it, or you can leave it. So if I just hit enter, you'll see how it just kind of stripped that out. But I'm going to go ahead and copy this as the profile URL, and we're going to put this in the spreadsheet as well. All right, and then the last thing we can do is grab the Blogger URL and go ahead and paste that in, and then we can update the username and password and email because they're all shared the same from the Google accounts, right? So we'll go over to the Blogger account, and that's this one here, and copy this right out of the address bar and come back over and paste this in as well. Okay, and so now we have the 4 Google accounts. We're going to talk about page login here in just in another video. And but before I go to the next video, I want to talk very briefly about SERPspace. And SERPspace is an application that we developed, which is actually kind of like an SEO marketplace. There's a lot more to SERPspace now than what it was originally developed for. But originally we developed this to manage IFTTT networks as a way, because I have hundreds, if not literally thousands, of IFTTT networks now. I've been using the IFTTT syndication networks for 4 years now. And it really is the foundation of all the SEO work that I do. I always begin with these before I do anything else. And because of that, I have hundreds, if not over 1,000 IFTTT networks. And I've always managed everything right through spreadsheets. And it gets to be a bit cumbersome when you have as many networks as I do. Even if you have several dozen networks, it can be more to manage than it needs to be. And so that's why we created SERPspace originally, to manage IFTTT networks. Guys, there will be a link for this in the description area. But it's called SERPspace.com, SERPSPACE.com. You can click the link in this description area. It'll be over there as well. But if you go to SERPspace, you can register a free account here. And to manage IFTTT networks, you can purchase, depending on how many properties you're going to have, you can purchase credits or a subscription to monitor properties. And so this is very, very useful. I'm going to go ahead and create another video talking about SERPspace and how to set this up or how to use this. But it's very simple to use. You just create an account, you purchase a subscription plan. They begin at $5 per month for up, I think it's 500 properties for $5 a month that it will monitor. And then you add all of your properties, the URLs, the usernames, passwords, and everything into SERPspace, and it will allow you to manage all of your properties from inside this dashboard, all in one location. Okay, so I still put them in a spreadsheet as well, but then I also put them in the SERPspace, and you can load them one at a time as you're creating the accounts, or you can wait until your spreadsheet is completed at the end of your build, once you've completed building the network, and then you can actually upload or just do a bulk upload with the spreadsheet, and all of the properties details will be filled in for you because it'll just pull them right out of the spreadsheet. Okay, so really, really cool, but I'll do another video about that. But I wanted to just make sure that as we're going through and creating these properties, that we grab the URLs and then update all the fields within the spreadsheet so that we don't lose track of anything. The last thing you want to do is lose track of stuff. So we're going to say username and password here. paste these in, and then like I said with SerpSpace, you have the ability to add all of this one at a time, or you can do it all in one go once you're done filling out the networks, and we'll talk about that in another video. Let me paste this in, and that's it for right now. I'll see you in the next video.